there's always someone hunting. Someone's always looking. So every time you step on a court, every time you're playing in a game, practicing, be mindful that someone's watching that's trying to take your spot. Yeah. So you got to set examples to everybody. It's basically when you're on top, it's kill mode everybody. There's no more there ain't no friends now. It's kill mode. It's kill mode.
Welcome to No Chill with Gilbert Arenas. I'm Mike Botticello. Gilbert Arenas is right over there in that crossover shirt. We'll get into that in a second. And right here, we have Jaden Hardy. So what we did, we've took some heat because we get a lot of shine. It's the Cali kids. Gil says that's where all the talent is. So we had to come out here to Nevada, to Las Vegas. We're at the Las Vegas Basketball Center, right here on the court. With let's drum roll. We're gonna unveil it. #1 player in the country, class of 2021. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
We usually, that's like the red carpet. We don't give that much hype.
Drum roll was happening.
But we had to, Gil, because it was the thing. There's more talent out there. California, there's a lot of attention on that state, rightfully so. But doesn't mean you can't make noise elsewhere.
Yeah.
What was funny is yesterday I was talking to Troy Brown, and he was like, "Yo, I seen young fella, he got it." I was like, "Serious?" I said, "I'm interviewing him." He's like, "Yo, I watched him. He's nice as shit." I was like, "Okay, I see you. Okay, out there killing them NBA boys already."
Yeah, me and Troy, we cool. We both play for the same club team. He used to play for the Las Vegas Prospects. My freshman year, that's who I played for. So that's how I got close with him. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
But you know what the funny thing is? I guess when you're the small fish in the big pond, right? Think of it that way. There's the idea that all eyes are on that pond, right? And then if the other space where you're the hungrier one, maybe, let's say. So you go from that hunter role, where you gotta go hunt, and now the attention turns to you, you're the hunted.
Yeah.
That's a funny thing. I guess that's where you're at now, can we say that?
Yeah. It's always gonna be a target on my back now because people know who I am, but I just stay humble, stay in the gym. I don't mind it, just continue to stay in the gym, work on my craft, try to get better every day. And that's what my brother does. He pushes me. He's at Oregon right now, so shout out to him. He's gonna be playing there this year. So, we just stay in the gym, and then my pops, he just there for us. He's the one training me, so he just keeps my head right, make sure I'm doing the right thing, so, yeah.
That's the most important thing, that supporting cast.
Yeah.
You already have a brother going to test the waters first. And you get to learn whatever he learns this year, you get to learn it next year, so you get all those tricks a little bit earlier than everyone else. So that's good.
What I just said though, that funny thing about being hunted, that role, like you want to be the predator, and I guess at any level you can always be in that space. Let's say you're at the top of the mountain, there's another mountain to climb, something like that. But how do you approach that if you're gonna give Jaden some advice here on that?
Well, unfortunately, I was just always a hunter. That's...
No, I disagree. At a certain point, though,
I was always the hunter.
You were hunted. I disagree. You're being too modest for once.
I was always the hunter. I never actually got on the top of the throne to really sit there and say, "Hey, how's everybody doing?" Like I was always chasing someone.
But at certain points, like especially postseason, right? So because you're in that repeated matchup in the course of a series, you're the #1 guy they're gonna key on. Let's shut him down. Force him to give the ball.
Yeah,
yes.
But that's not the same. That's not the same. We're talking about the #1 player in the country.
Okay.
That means everyone after him is chasing him, hunting him. I was never here. So I'm chasing. I'm trying to hunt.
Whatever is in the water here in Las Vegas, he's drinking the humble Kool-Aid. So we're gonna go with that. Okay.
I wasn't LeBron. I wasn't Kobe. I'm not the top of the mountain. I'm trying to get there. That's where I was, trying to get there.
But yeah, to always have that chip on your shoulder that, you really sleep with one eye open, you know what I mean? Because as soon as you relax, they catch up to you, you're done.
Now you gotta always remember too, when you're at the top, you gotta remember everyone's paying attention, and everyone has a chance to catch you because you don't see them, but they get to see everything you're doing.
Yeah.
So if you're posting, yeah, I took 400 shots today, number 2 and 3 is like, oh, he took 400, I'm gonna take 600.
Yeah.
And that's what they get to do, being behind. So you gotta always be mindful that there's always someone hunting you. Someone's always looking. So every time you step on a court, every time you're playing in a game, practicing, be mindful that someone's watching that's trying to take your spot.
Yeah.
So you gotta set examples to everybody. It's basically when you're on top, it's kill mode everybody. There's no more there ain't no friends now. It's kill mode. Like I know we teammates today in AAU, but we're gonna play against each other in regular season, so it's kill mode.
Your AAU team, let's talk about that for a second. That was a loaded team. So at that point, would that be your role though? I feel like you're more of a playmaker. So would you say you're the assassin on the team?
I feel like we had a bunch of killers on there, actually. I mean, we had Josh Christopher, who's at Arizona State right now. We had Julian Strother, who's at Gonzaga. And then we had me, so it was basically like a 3-headed snake. So, like, you feel me? Like, if you can't, it's not gonna be able to stop all 3 of us. So I feel like all of us had the mindset of, like, we going in, we trying to kill, like, we trying to make noise. And that's what we did. So our first game out, we came out and we broke the EYBL scoring record. First game, so. I mean,
Jesus. That's the problem with like teams that got that kind of talent, because it's hard to really evaluate you individually because for the most part, you're playing half of your game because you're trying to fit in. It just reminds me of when James Harden was in OKC. So unless you was a real basketball head, you didn't see what he really was, because he was sitting there playmaking, getting everybody involved, making sure the ball got from, Westbrook to KD, from KD to Westbrook, and he just middlemanned everything, got his little points here. So when everyone's like, yo, why are they paying him max? Oh, no, because he's a killer. He just understands what's needed from him at this moment. So when he goes to Houston, he blossoms that fast because no one's seen the value of what he was doing. The value of what he was doing is making sure this person's getting the ball, this person's getting the ball, I score when I need to, but at the end of the day, I can do the same thing too. The other 2 just ain't capable of sharing right now, so I'm gonna be the smart one and make sure we all can work this thing out.
Doing some homework, I came up with this concept. It's already out there, but we'll talk about it now. Is the idea that can you be both a playmaker and an assassin?
Yes, that's what he is.
I was going to introduce you to one.
No, because just like a Harden was, the playmaking is coming because I also have other assassins on the court. So I'm willing to let them eat. We can all eat, and that's the best part about an assassin who understands that he has other players with him. You know what I mean? And when they're off the court, I'll turn it on. But right now, I don't need to hunt. We'll just all do what we all need to do together.
Because is that your approach? Do you find yourself picking spots more than just trying to dominate?
Yeah, I just feel like every time I step out there, I'm trying to dominate. Like, I feel like when I step out there, I try to look at it as if like nobody knows me. Like I'm out here, I'm trying to prove myself. So every time I step on the floor, I just feel like I gotta prove myself. So.
Well, and that's the chip we're talking about. Like you always want to have that way. I don't know if it's prove yourself after a certain point. You just are who you are.
Yeah, I mean,
then it becomes, because it's funny. There's a cycle. There's like once you prove yourself, we all appreciate and love you for that. And then we want to poke, like the media take all that stuff comes in and they want to poke you and find flaws, and then you have doubters, and like you want to silence the doubters.
That's the game. But just from where you are, just understanding that someone's always going to get better. Someone's always going to get bigger, taller, faster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have to always be mindful of that. Like, junior year, senior year, someone might grow another 3 inches. You might grow another 3 inches. You know what I mean? So you just never know. So you just gotta always keep improving. You know what I mean? Keep adapting. You know, there's, you know, like looking at, you know, NBA players here, looking at college players here, looking at what defense your brother's going through. Like, you gotta always be mindful of everything that's going around, so you're always in tune with the game.
And we gave him a shout out already. We'll give your brother another shout out, because when you're the younger, you have the benefit of having them come before you see what they're going through, and you're like, all right, I can actually make this. I can get all my questions answered from them, where they're trying to pioneer it and figure it out for themselves. So what's that dynamic like between you and your brother?
It's real close. Ever since he was in high school, I went to all of his games. So me just being able to see that while I was younger and knowing that I wanted to do that, just being able to travel with him to his tournaments and stuff like that, and then going to his college games and then seeing all of that, just him just passing down what he's learning to me, just is basically like I'm ahead of everybody else because he's already doing it. So he's just passing it down to me. So,
you know, that's the benefit of being the younger brother, because you get to learn it. Whatever he's learning at his age, you're learning at an earlier age.
Yeah.
So you get to soak in all this information that he's soaking in also.
Yeah.
So by the time you hit that same mark, you're 20 times better. You know what I mean? So it's one of those where sometimes it's better to be the second, because you go out there, bring it back, and then I can learn it now.
Yeah, it's like the Michael Jordan example, right? That you take that ass whooping from your older brother. At some point, little brother is gonna be the same size, a little smarter, a little bigger, maybe faster, whatever, and then you give him that ass whooping. It wasn't that Michael Jordan's brother was the best player ever, but he made the best player ever out of that. And then anybody else he faced, the fire was way harder at home. So for you, is that benefit? Did you get to the point where you surpassed Big Brother?
I wouldn't say surpass
You
him.
can say it now. We already unveiled one thing.
No, I wouldn't say I surpassed him, but we do make each other better. I would say that. Yeah.
You know what's so funny? That right now should be like that push zone. You know, where you really get to like really test. Like you should start hitting them with like listen, we're gonna do real competition, like blow type of game. And we're gonna do best out of 7. And really push, so you can really, because you gotta remember, whatever he's learning now, you get to really, like, you remember, he's gonna know the little tricks and trades that you don't know yet. You want him to use them against you. You know what I mean? You want him to you want to really challenge him, like, yo, I'm way better than you. To force him, like, wait, what? Now you get to see his real game, his one-on-one game, and you get to really fine-tune your game against him. That's what I used to do when I go into the gym. I remember I'd be at UCLA, and they wouldn't allow me to play, right? It'd be like Paul Pierce, Baron Davis, Skip to My Lou, you know, back then, Geronimo, they wouldn't let me play. So I just sit there and just talk trash. I just sit there and talk, oh, you suck, bro. He's in the NBA? It'd be like Paul Pierce. He's in the NBA? Wow. Like, I'll just, and get them so mad that they put me on the court. They put me on the court just to shut me up. That's all I wanted. I wanted to go against Rayful Austin just to see what it was. Like, he's an NBA player. Like, I want to test my speed against him. I want to, how fast is he? Because I know I'm not going to get that in high school, but I get to really go for it for the first time. And that was my whole thing. Like, I remember when I got on there, I shot the ball the first 6 times. I mean, they kicked me off the court, but I shot the ball. I wanted to see if I could make shots against NBA players. That's all I was there for. I didn't want to run with you guys. I just wanted to.
But you had something for him when you got there.
Oh, no. I gave him 6 buckets, but they called me a ball hog and kicked me off. But it was like, yeah. Y'all see what I got? You know?
But I think when you have that, just even that at home, you know, or a best friend or whatever, you just need that person to push you. And I just thought of the Holiday Boys, because you also have the genetics a little bit, can all be obviously can be different sometimes, but you have the genetics are similar, and you just like, I know as a sibling what pisses you off. I know what you don't want to hear from me, what I can give you, and then if you have that just mental battle at home, when you get into a place like this, just makes you all the more better. The other thing I wanted to get in, Gil, because we got to do this. You gotta give him some wisdom here and push him a little bit. Is the importance of staying hungry, because whatever level you're at, there's always a next level to get to. I don't care, all the way to the top, the Hall of Fame, right? So, how would you implant that chip, that psychological chip, to stay hungry and find competition at all points?
You gotta remember, there's you're the number one player in the country, but not in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's, you know what I mean? So, with that being said, you topped the list you were looking at. Now there's another list.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You done came into another door. Now you want to be the best player in the world. That might take 1 year, that might take 5 years, might take 10 years, but that's the goal. There's another goal, you just can't be local thinking. Local, I'm the best player in high school basketball. No. There's the best player in college, and then there's the best player in the world. You know what I mean? So that's what keeps you hungry. That's what keeps you in the gym. That's what keeps you waking up at 3 a.m. saying, yo, Dad, let's go to the gym. Because you know there's players out there that you haven't surpassed yet. Because you gotta remember, when you get to that next level, there's no age group. There ain't no age. Nobody wanna hear, I'm the best 21 years. Man, you better shut all that. Nobody wanna hear that of that. When Luke and LeBron's going at it, there ain't no age. there's no age talk. There's no age as who's the best player in the world. That's all we want to talk about right now. You know what I mean? So that's where, you start really focusing, understanding what's at stake, what the real goal is. And once you start dialing into what you're trying to be, everything, it goes by faster. You start, I don't even know who that is. You know what I mean? I don't even know who that is. And you start doing that to yourself, and you just start working and chipping away, getting better year by year, month by month, day by day.
All right, so let's timestamp that. We'll put this in a little time capsule. What's your motivation right now?
My family, just really my family and what this game can do for me, and just not only that, but the people I can meet with by just playing this game. You just build different relationships with different people, so that's really my motivation, just my family and then the stuff this can do for me. So.
And I think this year, we've seen that, especially you think about where it goes, down to the, you're not youth level, but younger generation, next wave. You see what athletes are doing now. It's way bigger than sports. They're making political statements, they're out leading, protests and marches, things like that. So then you really start to see the impact that you can have beyond basketball is huge. So with that in mind, what would you want to accomplish beyond basketball?
Just putting on for my for where I've come from, and then the kids that's coming up that look up to me. So really just being a good example for them, and then really And this
is where it starts.
Who's the best Nevada player ever?
The best Nevada player ever?
Supposed to say you, man. I am.
I was lucky confused for a minute.
I am. You better tell them I am. About to have a whole. It's me right here. I'm Mr.
I do
Nevada.
feel like I'm the best player
I'm Mr. Vegas right now.
Yeah.
It's funny.
You come to Vegas, you holler at me if you need something.
It's funny. I was trying to think real quick, and I was like, you know what? Actually, the best answer is saying, since we can't think of it, I'm gonna put Nevada on the map.
Nevada on the map.
And you want to have that rabbit of something that you're always chasing. And I think the coolest thing is when it's imaginary. It's like that boogeyman that gets you out of bed, or you can't sleep because of that. I don't know if you hit that yet, but getting to that point where you're just I'm restless, man. I just want to get after it.
Yeah, I've hit that point. It's been times where I've been up man, I could go to the gym right now. But like you said, I do have those nights where I be up, man, thinking watching highlights, watching film, would just be man, I could go to the gym right now and put some work in.
So here's the question: what triggered that?
I don't know. I think that's just the love for the game I have for it. Really, just me being humble and
Because that's the important thing. Sometimes it's from a loss, right? Because let's say you miss at the buzzer, you miss it. So you're playing that play over and over in your head. It doesn't have to be that. It's just what you said, love of the game. Just, I'm hungry.
I mean, the love of basketball, just, we would hope anything, but, you know, as a hooper, you know, like, even when I watch games or highlight, like like sometimes when I see like real highlights, I just go by them because I already know what's gonna happen. Like, oh yeah, what? About to go to the gym right now, and then knowing I can't do it, but it got me to get in the gym. Now my knees hurt and I gotta go ice. I'm like, man, I can't do this no more. You know, but that's what basketball does for hoopers. Like you sit there, watch a game, and you get antsy. Like, damn. The gym ain't open yet, you know, and that's when you know you love the game. When you can just watch it on TV and then you got to go do something about it. You got to go play. You got to sit there, dribble the ball. You got to go pick the ball up, and you know, and that's when you know you're starting to get the itch of the real love, you know. And then from there, once you fall in love with it, the consumption of just running down the rabbit hole will be the best. Because all you're gonna wanna do is sit in the gym trying to find ways to get better. I remember I used to go to the gym, they'll have the floor up the night before, and I'll just dribble the floor just to find dead spots. Just to find the dead spots to make sure I don't dribble through one of them, you know, during an important time of the game. You know, and I should be sleeping, but I decided that's what I want to do just to get in the gym, just for no reason. Just, you know, like when people when you see like movies and they be on the field by themselves doing this, and that's real. That was real. I used to go in the gym and just like play like I'm looking in the crowd, pointing, like doing just for no reason, just what's up, yeah, slapping the fake crowd. And I'm like I'll leave and really like yo, tomorrow's about to be on.
It was like a kid on Christmas Eve.
Yeah,
you know, you're so excited.
Or the first day of school, you know what I mean? It's just that you trying to feel like you about to talk to my friends about we gonna do this, we gonna do this. You know?
And I think also the mentality of a gym rat. Like that's really where that comes in. Is like there's no better place. There's no place you'd rather be. This is your heaven.
Yeah.
You know, so I think people say basketball court's a canvas, you know, so they can paint or whatever, paint their masterpiece. But for you, like, what do you see basketball as ultimately?
Just, I feel like I see basketball as a gift. I see it as a gift. I feel like God is giving me the gift to be good at it, and I just have to put the work in, really. Just continue to put the work in, continue to get better. Just find different ways to get better.
We've been very nice up until this point, and I think that's it. We gotta turn the tables a little bit. What do you think you need to work on? What's your biggest area of improvement?
I always feel like I could improve in everything, really. Just because I'm not perfect in everything, so I feel like I could just continue to get better in every way. I just gotta find different ways to do it. So,
you know, the easiest way. Well, it's not easy because if it was easy, everybody
Everybody do it.
Everybody would do it. What you do is you take your game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Give it to your biggest critics. Give it to you. Say, all right, tell me the worst part of my game, right?
Yeah.
And let them give you the list of the worst parts of your game. And then month by month, you clean those up. And before you know it, you became this. Without doing it, just cleaning, you gotta remember, you already have what you're good at. Now you're cleaning up everything what you're bad at.
Yep.
Now imagine how powerful you are on that court.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So those are the things that, you know, as a hooper, you have to understand criticism sometimes actually makes for a better player. Because the critics, their whole thing is to point out everything that's bad. So you got to sometimes take it in and see what he's saying.
Yeah.
Like, all right, so I don't do this. All right, well, let me spend 2-3 weeks working on this only. And then now I can add that to my game, add that. So like, usually, you know, as an NBA player, we'll go into the summer, like I'll go into the summer and I'll pick one thing I'm bad at. and work on that the whole summer, like at least 60% of the summer. Just that one thing. And then work on whatever, I was fine-tuning and, updating. And then, so like if you look at Dwayne Wade, one year he came back with the bank. Added the bank. Like, it's just, okay, dang, this is really his new, bank. And then from there it became the pump fake. Now he got the bank, the bank and the pump fake. And you're just adding to the game because, you're never gonna lose what you're already great at. So you're just, adding to what you didn't do. And that's how we train. We didn't train going to the summer just doing everything and I need to do step backs and I get it. No, we just take one thing, perfect that one thing, and then add it to our game, and that turns over, a whole nother level that nobody was paying attention to.
The thing about criticism, there's fair and there's unfair criticism. Because if it's fair, you're like, you're right. If I struggle with pulling up, going to my right, fair. Or if they say you can't hit a mid-range and you're like, all I do is the bank shot, pull up stuff that's unfair. So that would even motivate you more, is like, I'm already good at this, but you're saying I'm not good enough. I'm gonna double down on it. That's a Vegas term, double down.
Double down, that's a Vegas term, double down. But that's what, like, if you look at, like, the greats, like, Kobe, Jordan, they always had their criticisms right where they can see them. So when they woke up, they understood what the goal was. All right, I didn't feel like it today, but I gotta remember, I gotta shut him up. You know what I mean? And that's why, like, if you ever heard Kobe, he can recite who said what, where they said it, what time they said it, what page they said it, because that was the motivation for that month, what's the name? Just like when, LeBron, when you can see he knows everything that's going on, everything that's being said, and he's just writing them down, using them, writing them down. You said I can, all right. And that's why he said old man, 17, washed up goat. Yeah, all right. All right, I spent $500,000 last year on my body. I'm spending another $1.5 million. We're gonna see who's washed up. And that's, that's what motivates. That's what keeps, keeps you going. You have to take that criticism and just say, all right, I'm gonna accept it all, and I'm gonna let all y'all get me better.
All right, well, we also can't let this slide. When I asked what do you need to improve and you said everything, that's a good answer.
Everything.
Because actually, you didn't give us anything. And that's what you shouldn't tell us what your weaknesses are, that we can't attack those. That's the thing, I think that's an important thing that maybe even a lost art nowadays, where because of social media, things like that, where guys shouldn't give up all their secrets and what's in their head.
Don't listen to him. You know what I mean? Don't listen. That's average. That's a reporter type talk right there. Nah, you give them everything so they know your blueprint. So now they're studying, now they're making it hard for you to update your blueprint. So when I go on the court, I'm telling you everything. I'm about to step back, about to hit you with this, about to hit you with this, stop it. So now I know how he stopped me, write it down, work on it, improve it. You know what I mean? It's like that Terminator 1, 2, 3, it only improves. So if you don't give out what you're good at or your weaknesses, like, you want to say, I don't go left. I don't go left. I don't need to. Y'all can't stop me going right. Now you force everybody to jump on your right, to push you left, so you can work on your left. That's what I said. It's the long game, man. It's a long game. Like, if everyone's pushing you left the whole time, and you develop this whole left game,
they can't stop.
It's over. Now you got the left now, and you got the right. That's the. He wouldn't know that, because.
No. Here's the thing. He just set himself up for this.
He wouldn't know that.
This is where OG Gil, he's older now. We call him OG recently. You forget when you were younger, you wouldn't do that. You weren't gonna give that information now, especially to younger.
That's all I did.
You're talking about trash talk. I'm talking about if you're with a younger guy and they want to learn from you, you're not gonna help him. You're not gonna give him information like that. You have your secrets.
No, there's no secret. What is the secret? The secret getting better? You gotta remember, if you're a smart defender or smart basketball players, you know everything about me anyway, right?
Yeah.
You know if this person can't go left, if this person favors this, if he don't do step back, you already know that. So it ain't no secret. I'm not gonna give you my secret to getting better. But for my game, gotta remember, the only way my game improves is if you are challenging it.
All right, Gil, because we are saying we were with the top player in the country, we have the future of the game with us. So I gotta say the future's in good hands. But as you progress, what do you wanna see? When you look at the NBA now, specifically, what do you see that you can do different?
Just being me, I guess. Just where I come from, just having that hungriness, just being able to show it. Like, cause I know there's a lot of people that can relate to me. Like, I'm from the hood, I guess you could say it, like Detroit. So, I mean, there's a lot of people that can relate to me, and then just working, just continue to work, just trying to have that good support circle. So really just being able to just stand out, just playing me, just being me.
You got a new group of talent that's playing the game the way they see the game. You know, I'm not one of those older players that pretends that my era was the best. You know, it's like before my era, like defense, and before that era, it's like we're fighting because I fouled you too hard. Like, you know, there's no the evolution makes everything better for the most part. You know, so I can't say something's missing because it's not what was in when I was there. You know, they evolved this game. You know, so they're playing it the way they see the game and the way the rules allow them to see the game. So, you know, I wouldn't say let's add something to the game because in reality, it doesn't exist. It doesn't, you know, the past does not exist in this future. So when people say hand checking, you know, they need to bring back tougher defense, it doesn't exist. Because you gotta remember, the defense was great then because the offense wasn't that good then. You know, you had a few players that were great, but for the most part, most of your guards, 90% of your guards wasn't scorers. They were playmakers. So that means they wasn't in attack mode. They were probing, looking for the big man, and then you guys got to play this physical game. Well, evolution, now these guards, 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", 220, 215, 44-inch verticals. Your hand check does not do anything to them. They eat through that hand check. Meet me at the rim. And you're saying, I'm gonna, foul them. 2 free throws. Wait, 210, power forward? Come on. You know what I mean? So the offense, you gotta remember, if it was a 2-to-1, then the offense now is 100-to-1. They have 100 more moves to the same concepts of defense. Below the free throw line, push him baseline, push him to his weak hand, close out. Like those, there's been 100 new moves created with the same one concept of defense that's been, the blueprint is there. It doesn't evolve. This doesn't change. The offense has changed. So you can't say, they need to play better defense. There's no defense that controls this new offense. It doesn't exist. It doesn't. But that's what people don't pay attention to. Like I don't care what rules you put in, the offense has evolved so far from where defense was and where defense can go. You can't do the defense of the whatever defense that you were using, you done mastered 20 moves around this. Pushing baseline. You done figured out how to drop step, up and under, spin back, middle, spin. Like, you done figured out 30 moves on that push you baseline, strategy. So there's really.
It's funny, when people think of old school even, they think of that, like, fights. Who watched basketball for the fights? 30, 40 years.
They did back then.
I don't think they did. I think they just
I'm just saying the era back then. Remember, hockey was
happened.
fighting, football, and that whole genre was just back.
They were just angry people, I guess.
Bunch of angry people playing sports.
But I will say the thing about it is the idea that it's too buddy-buddy now. John Wall said that on our episode with him, that it's too buddy-buddy. So I think in that sense, it's the intensity.
Okay, hold on. Buddy-buddy doesn't mean what we assume it is. Buddy-buddy because I want to play with this player, that's always happened. That's always happened. Like, but you have a rival that you would never play with. You know what I mean? You have players that you would never play with because those are your rivals, but you have players that complement your game. You know, that's a different. Buddy, you complement my game, and I want to team up with you so we can put out the best, you know, the best canvas. We can do the best painting. That is not the same as, that's not buddy. That's just smart. You know what I mean? Jordan Pippen, that's smart. You know, Jordan going to, playing with someone in Detroit that he didn't like, that wasn't going to happen. He wasn't going to play with Isaiah Thomas. You know, so.
But even if you had, let's say, somebody like Josh, somebody that you played with, that, they're a friend, they're close, but when you compete against them, it is a better feeling when you beat them.
Yeah, it is.
But that's what I said. But buddy doesn't stop that. We're teammates, but not today.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and I think that's the myth that people don't understand that the point is when it's game time, we're not friends actually.
No, I think the misconception is this. The people who say, man, this era is just too friendly, they too buddy, they work out with each other. Those are small city people. Those are small city guys that they didn't have the luxury to come to a city where 20 NBA players were. So they're just practicing and, performing in front of their group. So, if you went to Chicago as an NBA player in the summer, you will realize there's 40 NBA players there. If you went to LA, you will notice all of UCLA, there's all NBA players. If you came to Vegas, you would have known, but for the people like, oh, they just train with each other. They like, that's what through history, that's what happened. But if you live in Mississippi and you came from Mississippi and that's where you go back home, there ain't no other NBA players there. You playing at the rec league, and then you be like, man, they too buddy over there. Yeah, we've been playing against each other since we were 6. Yeah, that was it. I'm sorry, you didn't have anybody else from Mississippi that you can compete against,
But it gets to that point where like these guys only want to play with each other, and it's hard to. It's like a clique.
Listen, if you're an all NBA player, you're an all NBA player, you all NBA player, and we're friends, of course I want to play and work out with you guys all day. Like, why would I want to work out with number 495? Like, the point is that. What are we going to be working out? What are we going to be? No, I want to work out with I know this is elite. This is an elite group. So keep the elite up.
All right, we can't go without it. It's that time again. Ask Agent Zero. You had some stuff prepared, I know it. So, Janie, what do you have for Gil?
How was it like when you played against Kobe? Like, was it like a challenge or?
Yeah, so with me is because you grew up watching him, right?
Yeah.
You grew up watching the player. You already, like, you come in as a fan, right?
Yeah.
You come in as a fan. So what ends up happening is I used to go to the gym about 3 o'clock, when we played, and he was at the gym working out. And I'm watching this guy go through pre-game drills like it was a playoff atmosphere, or he was at the park with his friends, and they're like, the score is 20, and they're going to 21. And, everyone got game point, and that's how hard he was going pre-game, and then watching him during game and just watching his mannerism, watching how he interacted with everyone, from the opponents, to the refs, the players, so by the time I got introduced to play, the whole fan was gone because this man is a monster. Mm-hmm. He ain't trying to hear all that, my face. He don't want to hear none of that. He's trying to take my head off. Yeah. So from there, it already became yo, I need to come. If I'm on a court and he's there, I got to come with the A game because he's not going to respect anything but a performance, and that's what I picked up from him. So when we stepped on the court, the mind game was coming. the antics was coming, understanding if I got 2 fouls, he was gonna say something. I foul you on a fast break, he was gonna say that was a dumb foul, because you gotta stick me, and if you're gonna stick me, you need all 6 of them. You know, and you start like, wait, what? I do need all 6. Like, and those are the things that goes on during the game with him. So it's more of a mind challenge, and that's what you gotta be prepared for. You know, so that was the most challenging part, was the mind, making sure you, like, he say something, you're right there. You know, you're, you know, he says, hey, I'm gonna shut him down, and you go hit, like, oh, he got 1-4 flat. You know, and you start doing that to let him know, nah, these are chess right here. We're gonna play chess again. But I had to learn that watching what he does. And then I can see how he had the advantage over everyone else.
Another thing I was gonna ask you was, like, how would you say you prepared yourself for it, like, once you got there, like, going against, you know, you was gonna be going against all those all-stars, and you wanted to be one, so how did you, like, prepare yourself for it?
Look, I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you. My first game, we playing against Vince Carter. We're playing against Vince, and, you know, I'm in there cocky. Man, he's trash, man. The TV make these players look better than they really are. And he missed like 2 straight shots. So I'm already trash. I knew he was trash. And then he got mad and then got in the post spin move and cocked it. Oh, boom, right? I jumped out the seat. Oh my God, I'm on the court. Joe, y'all see that? And then I had to realize I was in the NBA, like, oh, my bad. And I'm on the bench like, yo, did you see that? Man, he done touched his head. It was the best thing I've ever seen. But what ended up happening was reality kicked in because I'm like, he just did that to Jason Richardson. And Jason Richardson, athleticism is, huh. And then it's like, I just seen somebody who go, huh. And I'm here, and I'm like, oh man, I can't even play in this league, bruh. And I got so depressed just from the dunk, realized like, yo, I don't have this type of athleticism. So I spent probably the first part of the season just like, I can't do this. I can't do none of that. Kobe, I can't even guard him. Ray Allen, I can't even guard. Like these people, I can't even, and I was doing that to myself. And someone said, yo, why you keep looking at them for what you can't do? Won't you start looking at what they can't do? You have speed, you can shoot, you can score. Now look at the game like that. Now look at the position you play. Can those players stop what you do? So then I had to refocus off the stars and start going to the twos and, oh, he's trash. Oh yeah, I'll blow by him. And then I started looking at the game different. And then I'm, Gary Payton's there, like, he's an all-star. I can give him business. And then John Stockton, and I'm started looking at those stars and those positions and realize, yo, I'm an all-star. I just need to get on the court. And my whole perspective changed. My whole perspective changed because I looked at it different. And then once I got there, I took off, boom, boom. And then when those same 2 guards that I was afraid of got in front of me, you guys are trash. You know what I mean? You guys are trash. You're gonna over jump because you jumped too high, and I started doing that. And then from there, I just took off. But it's the way you look at the game. You know what I mean? We tend to look at what we can't do because someone else can do it instead of looking at what we can't do, what they can't do.
How did confidence, having that confidence, play a role in it?
In the NBA, the confidence is it is the most important thing that's gonna keep you here, to take you there, or can bring you here. It's your confidence. Like, if you don't believe in yourself, remember there's 41 road games where, trust me, they don't believe in you. They don't even want you to be there. They gonna boo you, they gonna do whatever. So you have to have that inner self-confidence that you can't be stopped. Like, you gonna have to, it's like the Jedi mind trick. You miss 4 or 5 shots, it ain't you, rim probably bent. Hey, ref, can you check the rim to make sure that's legal? Do play the game, like, yo, is that 10 feet? Is this, all right, because it ain't got nothing to do with me. I take my 300-400 shots, must be the wind in here, because your defense is trash, it ain't you. You start doing that, you gotta, play tricks on keeping your mind in the positive form, because you gotta remember, missed shots is part of the game. So never get down because you start off the game 0-10. If you finish 10-10, 10-20, 50%, balling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You go 0-for-20 and hit the game winner, 1-for-20, you're a hero. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you can't, don't let your mood change. Like, being consistent is having a consistent, emotion.
Yeah.
Don't get too high on shots, on made shots. Don't get too low on missed shots. Just stay in the middle. Do what you do. This is what I get buckets. This is what I do. I don't need to get all excited because I just gave you 50. That's what I do. Who's next? You know what I mean? And that's really how you have to approach it. You know what I mean? Because you got to remember, for the most part, everyone's lions.
We can get out on this because we're here in Vegas. There's a lot that happens. I feel like just basketball comes through Vegas. It's becoming more and more of a basketball town. It doesn't have an NBA team, but you have Summer League out here. You have, Team USA out here. And so for where you are now, you're part of that. So let's just say that's what you came up, I think experiencing too. Am I right? That's what's going on here.
Uh-huh.
So tell people more about Vegas and the basketball that's played out here.
Well, it's really it's almost like a basketball city, like you almost said. It's more like starting to come into like a basketball city. There's lots of talent out here too. I don't think people get to see that though, but it's a lot of players that can hoop here. So yeah, it's good.
I think it was, Vegas was hard because Vegas didn't have a pro team.
Yeah.
It's hard to relate to it, but anytime you came to Vegas, like in AAU, the Vegas team was always like it was the Nevada, the Reno. It was always like, ooh, okay, they got some killers over there. You know what I mean? But you only got to see it during the Bigfoot challenge and all that. So you didn't really get to see the Vegas talent until you got here, and then you realized, all right.
Yeah.
It's funny. You're here for a reason. Yeah. Well, we're gonna wrap up here, but we're not done. We gotta watch you work out. That's the other thing. We don't really do this often. So this is a treat because we're here in the environment out here in Vegas. Came out here for that reason. So it'll be cool for just to get that front row seat. This was great.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
again.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
More to see.
Ain't already strong.
And we forget what it's like. We made the announcement here today too. #1 in the country.
#1.
You heard it here first. On No Chill with Gilbert Arenas. For Gilbert Arenas, for Jaden Hardy, I'm Mike Botticello. Remember, you can catch us every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern on the Fubo Sports Network, and we'll see you next time.